Alright, take two, let's see if this works. Today, we are looking back at the Commander class. That is right, ladies and gentlemen, we have brought it back. Of course, I've been working on all of these other things, but now it's time to look back towards our boy, the Commander class. So, of course, if you haven't already seen what this class is all about, I would suggest checking out my other videos on it, but it is essentially a class all about commanding an army rather than fighting yourself, or fighting with your own army, depending on how you want to play it. Last time we talked, I only had one fully fleshed out subclass, and through the little bits of time I could find while doing all of these other projects, I have come up with the second, the Tactician. Now, this one is all about less is more. You see it in the first ability right here. Less is more. It is essentially a subclass about it will half your perfect order amount, make it so that you can only have people in your perfect order, but these perfected troops are just as they say. They start as advanced troops until gaining the ability to become perfected troops, which of course will be the best type. So you have specialization. You cannot hold troops below the level in the perfect order. Of course, that's just to make it a little less overpowered, because starting off strong here, we have mesmerizing movement, where essentially you are so in sync with these troops that you can charm a creature by the simple fact that you are so in sync with each other. I thought this would be very interesting as an ability, so of course I added it. Of course, this is up to change, up to a whole lot of things, but moving on to level 6, we have perfect synchronization. When you order your troops to attack, you can instead focus all their attacks onto one target, striking at the creature with all your possible attacks all at once. On a hit, each attack will deal 1d4 extra damage, but on a failure, roll a d100. If any result below 10 times the number of attacks you made will result in all of your troops taking 1d4 damage. Now, of course, this is very unlikely. Not only do you have to miss the attack, but you also have to roll that d100, which at its maximum is only a 50-50 chance. But of course, you probably won't be using this for that 1d4 extra damage very often in the late game. Of course, I don't really have this class balanced at all yet, so we'll be looking into that more later. Level 11, you gain a new formation where you join your troops in battle. Now, this is the only time I think I've specified that you have to be there. Of course, there are others where it says you can be there, but this is the only one that says you have to. You join your troops in battle. You do not require any actions to use the command action. So you will always be holding your troops in perfect formation, which means you can use it once per turn as a free action, because they have to be perfect. That's all this means to use the command, and all attacks with you and your troops are made at advantage. This lasts for 3 turns, and you can use it twice at 11th level and thrice at 16th. So, of course, this is a bit of a thing where I wanted it to be sort of like hard to use, but you know, more powerful. Of course, balancing is definitely going to become a problem with this sort of thing, because I don't think this is very balanced, I would say. I would say actually it's one of the more balanced abilities, but of course I need to playtest this a whole lot. But then we have perfect harmony. Your connection to your troop transcends anything, even death. When one of your troops dies, they will stay in some way connected to their material form and will be revived during a long rest. This is basically just a failsafe mechanism if you have a character who gets really attached to these troops, especially whenever you're the tactician. Your troops are meant to be sort of static more than the warlord, at least the commander of the dead and the phantom tactician, and those are the 3 ones that very have you using more expendable troops, it feels like. But of course, these few subclasses, of course, being the primeval commander, the tactician, the cavalier, and the priest, are all more centered around keeping your troops, because they're going to be more powerful, but usually they're going to be less of them. Of course, not just throwing bodies at the problem, as most of the other subclasses will. But that is the whole look at the Tactician. Of course, this is all up to change. This all probably will change before it becomes any sort of final form. But I do highly recommend you try this out. If you're really interested in this class, of course, I have more than one video on it. The document is going to be down in the description if you want to read through it for yourself, look at what it can do, look at what maybe needs changed. Maybe if you're a little more experienced, you can depart some of that experience upon me. Again, this is all about your feedback at this point in time. If you do want to see more from this commander, there is a playlist all about it, and you can subscribe so you get notified whenever all of this new stuff comes up. And of course, with that, I'll see you guys down in the comment section.